how to actually understand that the salesman did a great job? Where is this border of responsibility when it's my fault as a business owner and when it's his?
I mean, it's difficult. It's from a new salesperson's perspective. You would expect them to have, an understanding of, how businesses operate. What the importance of sales within that business. So they should come in with their eyes quite widely open to what they need to do. But as you start to sell the proposition to the customer as a new salesperson, you start to understand what resonates. And actually, what you're trying to do is you're always trying to address this problem. Not enough customers, not enough revenue, not enough reach. So obviously, when you've identified the profile of the problem, what you then do as a salesperson is go, well, okay, I had a really good success, that's in Spain in the automotive sector with this particular proposition. How many other people are there in Spain in that sector? So, how am I going to qualify my next opportunity? And obviously that becomes quite important, because for a business, a salesperson to sell 10 new projects to 10 different market verticals is quite difficult, because there's lots of different processes, there's lots of different implementation, all the business models are slightly different. Whereas if you can start to identify there is a market vertical approach to this, so we've got a really good solution here, we've got a really good reference site, let's now go out and engage with that market vertical within the countries we work in to see if we can repeat that business, because we know it's going to be a lot easier process because we've been through the pain. So actually, it's as a salesperson, it's quite and as a business, it's quite difficult to create a category and be the first mover in that category, because it takes a lot of development working with the customers to get into that point where you've created this new proposition. Whereas if you've taken an existing proposition that's successful and we're growing it into new market verticals and new countries, then the role of that salesperson is genuine salesperson role. If you're looking to take new propositions into new markets, is that really a salesperson's role? Should we put that onto a salesperson? Because it's not a salesperson's role. It's not going to be a quick business return. It's more of a business development opportunity. So having somebody who's coming into a role as a salesperson, clearly the job description is very important. It's important for both the individual and the business to understand the role of the sales role, and they are very different. There's an account management role, which is looking after existing customers and growing the revenue. There's a new business whole, the hunter roles, creating new business, which requires a different skill. And then, there's obviously the new market, new entrance to the market, the category creation, first mover advantage, which is still sales, but it's more of a business development led role. So I would never recommend, putting somebody that's not got marketing experience in a BD role. I would obviously somebody that's coming into the organisation. I think as a new person, there's a mixture of existing accounts and new business, and then when you've got this new category created by the business development people, that's when you really want this hunter. And typically, they tend to be experienced people that have got really good contacts within the industries that we work in.
How often do you check the performance, that we set the standards and we follow the standards, our goals we put for ourselves?
So I mean, from a sales perspective, you should always engage with your salespeople on a weekly basis, so you're understanding, not only what sales opportunities there are, but how they're faring within the sales team. Create that synergy within the sales team. So, a regular weekly kind of sales call. I think with a new person, obviously there's a lot of mentoring. So, either you or their colleagues go out with them or help them to understand what they're doing. And then really, I suppose, what you're looking for them to come back to you with is, it doesn't need to be a qualified pipeline, but an area of action that they're going to undertake. So are they going to contact 100 customers, or are they going to do this, or are they going to do that? Very much then have this plan to work against, because once an individual said, right, okay, this is what I'm going to do, then from a performance perspective, it's very easy to manage the individual against that performance, because that's what they've set out. If what they've set out is not enough, you can try and understand the reasons why they think it was enough in the first place to put it in front of you, and coach them towards getting it to the level you want. I mean, pretty much from a sales engagement perspective, we know the number of opportunities we need to achieve our target. So if our target's, let's say $1 million, we need a $4 million pipeline. If we're in an account management role, we know that our customer base is generating 3 million. So as an account manager, we need to drive another million out of that, that base to achieve our target. If it's a new business, sales role, we need to know that we've got a pipeline of 4 million to do that. And, either the business gives you an existing pipeline from the, kind of marketing organization, or you have to create that. And obviously, if there's no pipeline there, what you're looking for that person to is to get a pipeline, as quickly as possible that delivers or shows they can deliver the million. And then as they start to engage, they grow that. So that's 4 times the pipeline.
In our next episode, Sabir will describe essential stages of product development. Subscribe so that you could receive notifications about our future videos.